Thanks so
You're
much.
listening to Mike and John Got It Going On, a Livingston County-based podcast that's based in, well, Livingston County. And now, Mike and John.
That's us. I'm Mike Marino. He's John King, and we got it going on this pre-Friday show.
That's called Thursday for the rest of the world.
It really is, because some people call it Friday Eve, and that's so cliche.
No.
I thought pre-Friday is better.
We want to avoid cliches.
Yes, we do.
Because there's enough of that going around right now.
This is not a hand clap and drum roll kind of show.
No, it is not.
No drum rolls and hand claps here.
Right.
We can't afford that.
Mike and John Got It Going On, brought to you by Firehouse Doors. And let's start off with news. Here's what's going on. There'll be no charges filed against a Howell woman who was investigated for cyberstalking after publicly calling out a nurse educator for medical misinformation. Casey Helton was accused of harassment by Holly Austin, also of Howell, who filed a report with the Livingston County Sheriff's Office in December after Helton posted a series of tweets that referred to Austin as a pathetic purveyor of health misinformation. Austin's a nurse educator with Schoolcraft College who made public statements against masks and COVID-19 vaccines at various meetings. A referral was subsequently made to the county's prosecutor requesting cyberstalking charges be filed against Helton. At the time, Sheriff Mike Murphy said his rationale for doing that was to seek guidance on how to handle similar cases in the future. But Chief Assistant Prosecutor Carolyn Henry confirmed for GIGO News they had decided not to pursue charges. In response, Helton says while she was pleased the criminal investigation against her had been dropped, she firmly believes Sheriff Murphy attacked her First Amendment rights and placed an unjust burden on herself and her family. Sheriff Murphy declined to comment for the story. As April 15th looms ever closer on the calendar, the Accounting Aid Society is scheduling appointments for 2021 tax returns at the Brighton District Library this Monday, March 14th from 1 to 6 p.m. Tax return preparation will be completed on site, although people will need to bring all of the necessary documents, including IDs and Social Security cards. Appointments are required, and they're not able to assist walk-ins due to COVID-19. 3 future dates are also set, March 28th, April 4th, and April 11th. Anyone interested in scheduling an appointment can do that online, and you'll find those details on the Mike and John Facebook page. In boys basketball Wednesday night, Danny Honkala had 20 points and 17 rebounds as Howell beat Linden 55-48. Carson Conrad had 16 points to lead 4 players in double figures as Heartland beat Holly 65-53. That sets up a rematch of last year's district final on Friday. Elsewhere, Brighton edged Dexter 38-36 behind 15 points from Ashton Tomasi, while Fowlerville fell to Chelsea 68-51. Greg Wilkinson had 16 points for the Gladiators. Tonight, in a pair of girls basketball regional finals, Heartland takes on Clarkston and Brighton takes on Wayne. While in hockey, Heartland meets Marquette in a Division II semifinal at USA Hockey Arena in Plymouth. It's the third semifinal berth in the last 4 seasons for the Eagles. And that's what's going on.
Yes, it is. I wanted that pregnant pause there for a second because you kind of,
I think it just gave birth.
You gave, you were doing like Tim Robinson's job for a second there. I thought, you might roll out of bed and do sports.
No.
But Tim is going to have
that. Tim provided, by the way, Tim Robinson.
Yes.
He's now the officially GIGO sports director.
Does he know that yet?
Yeah, and it comes with the requisite pay.
The same as we've been paying him beforehand.
So, yeah, right.
All right, good stuff. GIGO News and GIGO Sports also coming up today. Everybody's talking about the price of gas. We are going to do
Why,
an
is there
analysis.
something up with the gas?
Yes, the price of gas is up with the price of gas.
I have not heard.
Yeah, so I put something through to our GIGO analysis regarding the cost of coffee.
Yes, our GIGO analysis.
The other staff just hired.
Right, exactly.
So regarding the cost of gas and the cost of coffee. We'll get to that a little bit later. Also, our 2-cent history lesson coming up. And today is, by the way, National Mario Day.
It is.
You know the game Mario? And the reason it is today.
Why?
Because it's March 10th. So if you put 10, it looks like Mario. So it's Mario Day.
Boy,
I'm not making this
worked
up.
Hard on that
I am
one.
not making this up.
All right, it's time for our Community Spotlight, sponsored by Jordan Genso. With the Genso team at Remax Platinum, a real estate professional with 15 years experience serving Livingston County and a passion for building the community. It is a strange housing market right now. Jordan loves helping clients about finding all their options, including ideas that less experienced agents might not be familiar with. So even if you're not looking to buy or sell at the moment, you just want to kind of see where things are at, you want an expert who can answer your questions. And that expert is Jordan Genso. Give him a call, 248-444 9777.
I was hoping you wouldn't give our number because we're not experts in, well, anything, quite frankly. And since
people should have realized that by now.
It's Mario Day, in our spotlight today, Amber Cowles joining us from Upkeep Games. Good morning, Amber.
How are you?
Good morning. It's Mike and John from Mike and John Got It Going On, Amber. And today, I don't know if you knew this, is Mario Day.
Oh, sweet. I didn't know that.
See, you can impress all your customers there at Upkeep Games.
No, wait, I want to ask you, it's the Upkeep Games,
yes,
right?
The Upkeep.
Yeah.
Games.
Okay, not the.
Or is it
The.
the? Is the a little too formal? Like the Upkeep Games would be like, yeah, okay.
That's informal. Though.
Look here, Miss Pennypacker, get out of here.
Yeah, we're the opposite of formal, I think, in all forms.
All right, the Upkeep Games in Howell. Let's tell us a little about the business and how it all came about.
So, the Upkeep Game was created by Christopher and Rose. They are some friends who decided that there wasn't a place for a community to get together and be nerds. And so Christopher, who is a lifelong Magic the Gathering player, he sold his collection, his whole kit and caboodle, which was worth quite a penny. And they started this business in November of 2019.
Wow.
Which was just a couple months before pandemic.
Yeah, I was just going to say, timing-wise. And for him to give up his beloved collection to get this going right before the pandemic, that had to hurt.
Yeah, especially when, all right, everything's closed down and you sold all your games, your gaming stuff.
Yeah, so the interesting thing that happened with the pandemic and our store specifically was that at the beginning, people were stuck at home, right? And they had nothing to do, and they were reverting back to some of their old hobbies and passions, and nostalgia really hit hard. And so we weren't affected like some of the other businesses. We had sort of this pickup system. We were still open at the time. We had people could purchase games online, and we had a table out front. They could come pick up their games. Because we sell a lot of things from people's childhood, we weren't affected in the same way that other businesses were. We actually have a lot of people wanting more games than outside of the pandemic.
Right. That's you know, and that's one of those odd things that some businesses really flourished because of the pandemic, and you know, you don't hear about those as often. And what was some of the games that people had a craving for that you could serve them with?
So a large part of it was some of our card games, right? We had Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon, things like that. But then we also had family board games. Kids were stuck inside. People wanted something to keep their kids busy that wasn't TV or video games. And we don't carry a lot of the traditional games that you're going to find at Meijer or Target. A lot of our games are award-winning board games.
Like Trouble?
So oh, yeah. Well, no, we don't have that.
You don't have Trouble?
Wait
a minute, Amber. We have Trouble, and to prove it, we are going to pop the Pop-O-Matic just for you.
We have I'm holding up to the phone, which, you know, because you can't see about it.
But
for the YouTube crowd here, we've got our Pop-O-Matic Trouble Bubble.
It's a little yellowing.
Mind you, all we have is the game board and the Pop-O-Matic in the middle. We don't even have any of the pegs.
Yeah, I kind of lost some of the guys. Dogs might shoot them up.
But we have this, but you know, you do have the Pop-O-Matic, classic Pop-O-Matic.
Let's see what number Amber gets.
All right, here we go. I'm going to pop it up.
Ooh, Amber, 5.
Okay.
5 out of 6.
You know, by the way, Amber, if you'd like to purchase this as a vintage gaming piece to maybe hang up in the store, it is available.
If we didn't use it so often, we might donate it. But
Perfect. I gotta be honest. It's not one that we're often looking for, but you guys, I may make.
Well, you know what? You can't have it then. It's a classic.
Right. Classics. Keep them.
By the way, before we get too much further into this, tell Christopher happy birthday.
I will. Oh, he had such a good day yesterday.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
I absolutely will.
So let's talk about some of the other things you guys do there at the Upkeep Games in Howell.
So, the cool thing is it's run by a bunch of nerds for a bunch of nerds. So it's very casual, right? Like we have all of our tables out, ready for anybody to come in and play anything that they want to bring in from home. We also have scheduled events for various games and activities in store. Too, the whole idea was that we were creating a space for people to come and play the stuff that they were purchasing, or just stuff that they had at home. And we've got it across the board. We've got almost everything you're looking for, except for video games. We are not a video game store.
Okay. Right. So gamers, I mean, that is like this all-purpose phrase. I think when you say gamers, people, I think in the general population think video gamers.
You got to have a remote control in your hand.
Right.
That kind of thing. Yeah.
But the gamers that you're talking about, that's a whole different level of gaming. And it's the Upkeep Games. I guess you're talking about how it's a play. It's by nerds for nerds.
But wait a minute. Let me ask you this now that John said that, because you've said this a couple times about a nerd gathering place. What if a cool guy walks in and
nerds are cool?
Well, somebody, a jock or whatever, walks in and you go, look, he's clearly out of place and doesn't know where he's at. Do you get any of that?
We've got something for you. We've got something for everybody. Here's one of the coolest things that I've seen, having worked there since we've been open. The type of person who comes into the store varies across so far across the board. We've got elderly folks who are coming in. We've got toddlers coming in. It's across the board in terms of age, and also one of our customers is a professional MMA fighter. One of them is the Howell football coach. One of them is a lawyer, high-ranking lawyer, and so we have.
Wow, that's cool stuff. Yeah.
People from across every.
That's what I'm trying to say. Nerds are cool. Everywhere.
Oh yeah, you would be so surprised.
Nerds wear ties. Nerds go to work. Yeah. Nerds, so the
anybody with a pocket protector come in.
No, but the stereotype of who or what is a nerd is, it's just that. It's a stereotype.
Nerds are running the world right now.
We wish.
Absolutely. And the nice thing is when you had to be a closeted nerd back in the 80s and 90s,
right.
You don't have to do that now.
No. So what's the
most
popular game that people are playing there at Upkeep Games?
So our card game, probably still going to be Magic the Gathering, running hard.
Now I have to admit, so I mean I've heard of Magic the Gathering and I know it's a card game, but I mean just really quick, what does that involve? How does that play?
So Magic the Gathering is a player versus player card game where you build decks based off of these color combos. The colors relate to a land type, so a swamp or a water type. You build them full of monsters and spells and whatnot, and you face another player. It's player versus player. There's different setups, so there's different styles of playing.
Right.
So is it similar to like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh in a way?
Yeah, so Magic is probably one of the first forerunning card games like this.
Gotcha.
I think it was in the early 90s or late 80s that it had started. It really flourished in 1996 is when it really gained popularity, and it's still going strong since then. And since that was released, we had card games that are following up, like Pokemon, like Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon, and the most current one, which is we suspect is going to surpass Magic, is called Flesh and Blood. This is a game that's easier to play than Magic, and quicker to learn. And it is it's newer, but most of our Magic community is transitioning to that game.
So you do see you kind of get tired of one game maybe and go to another, or if you want to get beginners, so to speak, something like this Flesh and Blood would be the next one?
Absolutely. I would definitely suggest it. The thing with Magic is there's 30 years of rules and nuances and changes of cards. There's 30 years of sets, and so hundreds of thousands, if not millions of cards that you can have potential combinations of.
Right.
Whereas Flesh and Blood is only 3 years old, so you really...
So less to keep track of for us older folks.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, I saw you have an event coming up, RPG events you have. What is that?
So RPG is role-playing games.
Oh, I thought it was rocket propelled grenades. I didn't know what was going on there, but
what role-playing games? Is that like cosplay or
as rocket propellers? But we I run the role-playing games. Now, if you imagine Dungeons and Dragons,
right?
Yeah.
And that's isn't that the kind of the original role-playing game?
It is. Yeah. It absolutely is. And Dungeons and Dragons been around for a wonderfully long time.
Oh, wait a
started
minute.
by GIGO.
Oh, my.
And
you know, Amber,
he's going to brag again now.
It's funny you bring up.
We could get rid of Dungeons
it's funny
and
you bring
forever,
up Dungeons and Dragons because I still have my original D&D dice from back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
The early 80s.
You've really impressed her,
Oh
John.
God, yeah.
No.
You can imagine how impressed the girls were back when I was in high school. I'd be like, "Hey, check out my D&D dice."
You'd be something now. You were a man ahead of your time.
Oh man, you would be. It's
so-
popular right now.
How many dice are there? Because John has 5.
Ooh, yeah, you're missing a couple bones.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're missing a couple bones.
Oh, believe me, I'm missing more than that, lady.
That's one way to put it. Yeah, missing a couple bones.
Easy.
All right. So anyway, like D&D being the original role-playing game, but obviously through the years, that's there've been different modes of that, and it's definitely developed.
Do people actually dress up, or is it just you role play with the game pieces and the cards?
I'll say it depends. I have my own little gang that comes in Thursday nights, and we dress up. Sometimes we don't.
Yeah.
It depends on the people. The kids tend to not because they're embarrassed, especially the teens. They're
too cool for that. Yeah.
But us folks in our 30s, we don't really care so much, so we just we go for it.
Yeah.
But D&D is in its 5th edition currently, which is, I think, one of my favorite editions, which is easier to learn, really beginner friendly. But there's other role-playing games as well that D&D helped inspire that we run that are similar, but they all have, varying storylines and nuances to them as well.
Well, pretty cool stuff. I got to ask you, because these are competitions in these games, whether it's a board game or D&D or RPG, have you ever had any types of brawls or falling outs, people getting too upset, flipping the board and running out, maybe like we used to do in Monopoly?
Right. Well, so the nice thing is the people who come in are genuinely here for a good time.
Right.
During card tournaments especially, there are some times where it can get a little heated over rules and debates. Yeah. But we have in store employees who are certified judges for these games, and it's their job to mediate, to make sure nobody rage quits or flips the table and all that kind of stuff.
So you don't get a lot of
game rage.
Right, you don't get a lot of people like, in your face!
Yeah. No,
but
we don't handle that at our store.
But to these judges, do they catch any flack from the players? Kind of like in a basketball game where the ref made a bad call, or a hockey game, that kind of thing.
I think there are some times where it could get a little uncomfortable for the employees or for the customer. But for the most part, our community, our customer base are our friends. So these people are coming in, we know them, we get to know their names, we get to know their families, their stories, and they're coming to our store not just because we have a product for them, but because we're friends, right? We're chilling.
Sure.
They're coming because it's a comfortable environment. So rarely do they get up in arms with us about a call.
Okay, yeah, you haven't had to put anybody in a timeout or a penalty box or kick them out, call the cops or anything like that, correct?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I really hope I don't have
No.
I'm going to advise you, don't let John King in, because sometimes he loses his temper and starts yelling at inanimate things.
I don't know what he's talking about, Amber. That's ridiculous.
I think you would fit in. I think you would fit in at our store. Yeah.
Have you had anybody cheat? Anybody caught cheating in any game?
We haven't had anybody caught cheating. We have had a couple pockets get a little full here and there.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, that'll happen in any store, I suppose.
That's any store.
Yeah.
It is unfortunate, but we've actually had a pretty great track record there as well. Our community, again, Howell's got great people in it, great younger generation, great nerds. Right. And everybody in the surrounding area.
You should put that on the city
I was just going to say, that's the new catchphrase, Howell, great nerds.
Great nerds, yeah.
All right, so
I've only been in Livingston County for about 3 years now. I'm originally from the Metro Detroit area, so I've been pretty impressed with some of these nerds out here.
Yeah, the nerddom here. The nerddom is strong, yes. All right, so the Upkeep Games, and we should point out the location in Howell is it's off Latson Road, just north of Grand River, and it's in the mall there. That I'm just going to say where people will know it's not the store that you think I'm going to say. I'm going to say you're in the same mall as Street Taco. All right,
Yes.
so. Go get, if you know where Street Taco is, go get a Street Taco, eat it, don't bring it into Upkeep Games. And then go in and you can play over at Upkeep Games.
There you go. You don't want to mention that other store that people might get offended by? Is that what you're talking about? That could be a whole nother role-playing game.
That's a different role-playing game.
That's for after hours.
Yeah, we've had some confused customers walk in and ask that store. We are not that store.
I'm looking for a pair of panties. Sorry, you're in a group of nerds. They haven't changed their underwear in 6 weeks.
Once a week.
Yeah, that'll happen. All right, so if people are interested, you've got a website, of course, theupkeepgames.com. They can go there.
It's the Upkeep Games.
The Upkeep.
Did
I say the? Dang it! Dang it!
See, sometimes he says the, sometimes I forget
it's
the
theupkeepgames.com. And Amber, why don't you throw out your phone number?
What's that?
Yeah, why don't you throw out your phone number for folks?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's 734-366-6228.
All right.
It's been a blast talking with you, Amber. We appreciate you joining us here on Mike and John Got It Going On.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you for inviting me.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Amber. Have a great day.
All right. Thanks, nerds. Bye.
Call me a nerd. I got to get out the Fonzie lunchbox just for that. Look, Potsy didn't even make the lunchbox because he's a nerd. Hey.
I'm rolling all my D&D dice right now.
Rolled?
Oh, yeah. I win.
If you say so.
My gelatinous cube killed your orcs.
All right. Hey, you done now?
No.
Put those things away.
All right, fine.
It's time to take care of business, of course.
Sure it is.
Mike and John Got It Going On, brought to you by our friends at Firehouse Doors in Howell, serving the community for over 24 years. Mike Witt and company taking care of you for all your garage door needs, whether you're home or business.
Absolutely. And of course, Mike, veteran of the U.S. Air Force, and Firehouse Doors, your one-stop shop for residential, commercial, and rolling steel overhead door needs. And for the past 21 years, Firehouse Doors has been Livingston County's only authorized distributor for CHI overhead doors. And until April 1st, when you call Firehouse Doors, tell them Mike and John sent you. You get 5% off your total bill. No exclusions apply.
You actually get a discount and not a penalty.
Yeah, right. Yeah, normally you go click.
So everybody's talking about the price of gas now, and it's not just talk. It's complaining. It's bitching. They can't believe it. Why doesn't the governor or the government, national or local, take care of this?
Right.
So,
sort of misunderstanding a global commodity. But I digress. Go on.
So what I did was I talked to our Mike and John Got It Going On analyst, financial analyst.
Where are they?
At the Upkeep Games,
I'm sorry.
playing a game right now.
Okay, right, got it.
So here's what I wanted to know, because the price of coffee is going up too.
Right.
Now, I don't know, because I've just recently started
I'm going to blame
purchasing.
Putin for that too.
It probably is Putin's fault, besides the the weather and everything else.
The weather's his fault.
The
Stupid
weather.
Putin. Thanks, Putin.
Why don't you make it snow in January? A tall latte at Starbucks will cost you, the buyer, here in the United States, an average of $3.26.
Sure.
$3.26, so 3 1/4, we'll say.
And how many ounces is in
12 ounces.
12 ounces
is in a tall latte. To me, that's not very tall. Because then you get up to the grande and whatever else they
because
call
there's
them,
what's the Maximo Grande Venti
the jug
Supremo,
whatever it is. They might as well make a growler, isn't that what they call those things?
Growler,
growler for the bars. But anyway, a tall latte, 12 ounces, costs $3.26.
Right.
A gallon of a tall latte would be 128 ounces.
Okay.
So if you do the math, a gallon of coffee from Starbucks will cost you $34.56.
Okay.
I would be complaining more about the cost of coffee than the cost.
I agree. It's all relative.
They're both fuel for whatever
true.
you're using.
You need. Well, I would hope you would need far less coffee fuel than fuel. If you need,
But still,
if you
when you
need
look
a
at the
gallon of
cost of
coffee, although there was a time when I pretty much did drink a gallon of coffee
throughout the day, so you would have been spending like $35 a day.
Okay, fair enough.
And so it's all relative.
Right, it is
what's
relative.
important to us.
Believe me,
I
nobody
don't
wants
want to pay $4.25 a gallon.
Nobody wants to.
$4.50 tomorrow morning.
But I did. I want to let you know that when gas was still below $4, I went and filled up all my gas cans.
You were the guy everybody was
hoarding
swearing.
some gas.
Exactly.
Right now. I've got 3 whole gallons. My strategic reserve. I am ready to release it into the economy when it's needed. Governor, give me a call. I can help out.
I got 4 gallons. How many gallons of gas you got?
I got 3 whole gallons.
3 whole gallons of gas.
It's right there, baby.
You could sell
it's
that
right next to my 12-pack of toilet paper.
And a 12-pack of Bush.
My strategic reserve.
That's all you need.
That's all I need.
Hey, coming up tomorrow, we're going to be talking with a couple of people from Fowlerville. It's our Fowlerville Friday.
It is Fowlerville Friday.
I just made that up.
And it fits.
Fell into place.
Yeah, we're going to be talking with Daniel Graves. He's the owner of the Pizza Box in Fowlerville. Cool new pizza place. And he's a really great guy. We're going to talk to him about, how he came to own the Pizza Box in Fowlerville, which has some great food. And then right across town, not too far from the Pizza Box, is Torch 180.
Yes, we'll be talking with Rhonda Callahan. They've run a great program for years. They've got some stuff that we are going to team up with Torch 180 to pass on to you.
Right.
So it should be some pretty cool stuff.
You have an opportunity. Well, tomorrow, should we give details?
Not yet.
Okay.
Maybe in the exclusive after the podcast.
All right. Oh, sorry.
The post-potty.
So for you podcast people,
YouTubers,
you're not going to find out until you go on YouTube, and then you will find out what
you would think YouTube's paying us to do this, but they're not.
YouTube is not paying us anything.
No, they're not.
We're hoping someday that YouTube will pay us. We hope in vain. YouTube will never pay us anything.
No, they won't.
Okay. Anyway, go on.
All right. So yeah, that's all coming up on tomorrow's podcast, and we'll have a few of the details during the after the potty. After the potty podcast.
Right. Yes, we will.
All right. Any other business we have to cover today before we get to our 2-cent history lesson?
I don't believe so. I think we've had a pretty action-packed.
Do you need a water break?
I drank all my coffee. I'm out of coffee.
It'll cost you $3.26.
I know.
All right. Today, yes. March 10th, Mario Day, MAR10, meaning Mario. International Bagpipe Day. We know the Highlanders like their bagpipes.
Right.
And, nobody rocks the bagpipes, I got to say, like AC/DC. All right.
I agree.
It's National Blueberry Popover Day.
Right.
It's also Landline Telephone Day, for those that have a landline.
Now, do you still have a landline?
I
thought you did.
I thought I did too, but I don't even know if it's on the counter anymore. I think we hid it under. Right. I'm not sure if we have that anymore. Salvation Army Day. Salvation Army Day today. Also, U.S. Paper Money Day today. The U.S. issued its first paper money on this day in 1862.
Okay.
All right.
Official. There was. Who cares? Nerd.
You can talk about that.
Tune in for my currency podcast coming up after the show.
We'll talk about the invention of money, not how to invest it, how to spend it. That's us. 1410, the first metal wire was produced. First metal wire.
Metal wire.
In 1410.
All right.
So if you imagine, I don't know who made this.
Right.
But he went up to his buddy and said, check this out.
Check out my wire.
What are you going to do with it? I don't know. The first telephone call was placed on this day in 1876, Cambridge, Massachusetts. Alexander Graham Bell, AGB to his friend's assistant, in his adjoining room, heard Bell's voice over his experimental device speak and say, do you remember?
Mr. Watson, come here, I need you.
Oh, as I want you.
Okay.
And there's all kinds of stories that could be thought of from there.
Well, it depends on how you say it.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
Mr. Watson,
come here. I want you.
I want you. That's a different than, Mr. Watson, get in here, I need you.
See, if Cheap Trick did it, it'd be I want you.
Okay.
You want me,
all
Mr.
right.
Watson. The first opera.
I don't think Cheap Trick had.
1940, the first opera was shown on television in America, New York City. That was 1940, so not many people saw it.
No.
Those who did probably dozed off.
Did they get dressed up and sit in their living rooms? Monocle.
Yeah.
Opera glasses.
Thurston Howell the third and
That's
Lovey.
right.
1941, professional baseball players wore batting helmets for the first time.
All right.
They were the ones that were called nerds. Kind of like the first goalie in hockey. They wore a mask.
You
You're
know
like, no.
that the very first baseball
What are
player
you,
to wear
some
a
kind of wuss?
batting helmet just got nothing but grief from all the old timers.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I remember
Pansy!
it was cool when we were kids when batting helmets came out, but then when you joined Little League and they had ones with the earlobe cover,
Right.
that just didn't seem cool to me. But then they started wearing them in the majors.
Right.
And now they got the ones with the piece coming across the mouth so they could cover their face.
Right. I think when I was in Little League, I mean, the helmets they gave us, I think they bought them at 7-Eleven. I mean, they, like it just had the plastic strip that you kind of like to tighten it around your head on the inside.
Those are the ones you get at Tiger Stadium.
Right. I mean, I don't think it was much better than that. Like, I think if a ball hits this, it's going to do more damage than if the ball just hits my head.
And that strap would dig in your head.
Right. Not the best equipment.
No, it wasn't. 1956, RCA Records placed a half-page ad in Billboard magazine proclaiming Elvis Presley to be, quote, the new singing rage, unquote.
Really?
They may have been right on that, 1956. 1979, Gloria Gaynor started a 3-week run at number 1 on the charts with her hit, I Will Survive.
I Will Survive?
Once I was afraid.
Oh, I don't know.
I was petrified. Van Halen hit number 1 in 1984 with Jump. And in 2008, New York Governor Elliot Spitzer apologized.
Or Spritzer.
He might have had a few Spritzers. Apologized after allegations served that he had paid over $80,000 for high-end call girls.
Did he use the George Costanza defense? Is that wrong? Because no one told me that I couldn't pay $80,000. I mean, it didn't expressly say in the governor's manual that I'm not allowed to buy call girls.
That I couldn't buy hookers.
Yeah, is that wrong? Was I not supposed to do that?
Is a hooker the same thing as a call girl? Or call girls?
You know, the thing is actually
classier.
Actually, though, you're supposed to. You should refer to them as sex workers.
Oh, a sex worker.
Right, because if you call them prostitutes or call girls or hookers, it's degrading, as opposed to saying that they're a sex worker.
I see.
So just wanted to.
Degrading.
That's our. Yes, that's our.
We're sex workers now.
Right. Our wives are like, yes.
And we're poor.
Yeah. Hit the unemployment office, boys.
That's right. Former occupation, sex worker. I've aged out of the position. And finally, I kind of hate to end on a sad note.
But it's a life well lived.
Yes. Charles Entenmann passed away, helped keep his family's long national brand of cupcakes and cakes and cookies.
Right.
Passed away last month. Charles Entenmann, remember having Entenmann's, going to the grocery store. Or our friend Sebastian remembers Entenmann's.
Like, oh, come on in. We're gonna have some cake. Your mother had a little Entenmann's. Some Sara Lee crumble cake. Just in case company came over. She made an announcement when she bought it. She's like, listen, nobody touch this cake. This is for company only. Those crap muffins, those are for you, baby.
That's high-end cake.
Oh, yeah.
Entenmann's.
The Entenmann's.
Yes. So, thank you, Sebastian.
All right.
All right. Is that it today?
I think that's it.
That it today?
Yeah.
Let me look.
Do you got anything else?
Let's see. We got the hooker jokes out of the way.
That's sex workers.
Sex workers jokes out.
Come on, man.
Coming up tomorrow, our Friday show. Got it going on news. Got it going on sports with Tim Robinson and whatever else we can squeeze in. Our Fowlerville friends.
Exactly. It's Fowlerville Friday.
And a giveaway too.
Right. A yummy giveaway. So, there you go.
I was thinking.
Don't
Maybe.
do that. Well, this isn't post-show yet. We're not post-show
Okay,
yet.
not post-show right now.
Hold on.
It was premature
Right.
post.
Remember, if you're not on YouTube, you're not going to get the post-show content.
After the party.
All right, enough of that. Okay, now we're post-show.
All right, now we're post-show. A couple of things.
Yes.
It has dawned on me that
Yes.
after talking with Amber Cowles at the
Upkeep Games. Not the Upkeep Games.
The Upkeep Games,
Yes.
that we could have a place on a shelf.
Yeah. For? What are you getting? I'm afraid. Oh. Did Mike and John action
Super
figures?
action
Yeah.
heroes.
Amera Mike and Thunder John.
Thunder John
Right.
and Amber Mike.
Right.
Just an idea.
Okay. Right. I'm sure she'll be. The phone's going to be ringing any minute now. Any minute now. All right. So this is the post-show exclusive content.
is.
Was that it? Or were we going to? We were going to reveal.
Yes, it's
what
the
we're
big
giving
reveal.
away tomorrow.
It's the big reveal.
Right.
We've teamed up with Torch 180, Rhonda Callahan, and the staff there, Victoria and others.
Right. And of course, they make great food. If you've never been to the Torch 180, it's in the old Fowlerville Library building, which is about to get a makeover, by the way. And great food that they make there, and of course, Torch 180 does such an excellent job, providing food prep training for folks. And Rhonda has very generously partnered up with us so that each Friday we're going to give away a lovely lunch for two from Torch 180.
I believe combo meals.
Yeah.
On a Free Food Friday.
Yeah.
That's a 3F-er.
Free Food Fowlerville Friday.
Oh my gosh, it's
Yeah.
a 4F.
So on tomorrow's show, well, actually, we'll say, be watching the Facebook page today.
Not just any Facebook page.
No.
The Mike and John Got It Going On
Exactly.
Facebook page. Because if you just go to the Facebook page, this info is not going to be
the
there.
You see, now here that's interesting. We say about the Upkeep Games. It used to be the Facebook, and then they changed it.
They dropped
We're just Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook. And then it's FB.
Right. And now it's F you, Zuckerberg. Anyway, I'm sorry. I digress.
Nothing new.
I digress a lot, don't I?
He's in a form of...
He's digressing again.
The other thing we want to cover here on the post show,
Yes.
show for YouTubers only is yesterday we revealed the Grateful Dead poster that was in John's collection.
Yes.
And he just happened to dress for the occasion. And was that coincidence?
No.
I don't think so.
I was thumbing through my shirt,
Right.
my
What
shirt
should I wear
collection, and
today?
I go, oh, well, wait
I
a
have
minute.
nothing to wear, but I'll wear my Grateful Dead
Yes.
shirt.
Well, my Big B Coffee.
Grateful Big B's, yes.
So
from
you
our
know,
friends at Big
if
B Coffee.
Big B Coffee wants to, sponsor my shirts. And
Maybe-
by the way, I've got like a dozen
How
of these
about
Big B.
become the official coffee
Yeah.
of GIGO?
Yeah.
Mike and John
The
got it
official.
going on.
So if somebody wants to maybe
Call
drop a
the
little note
Pietro,
in Big B's
Amber.
ears,
that
let
would
them
be
know
cool.
they could sponsor my shirt.
Trying to get us some coffee here. You're worried about getting your shirt sponsored. Once again, it's all about
right.
the king. All right.
Well, that's it. We're done.
We're out of here.
All right. Now, yesterday when we tried to turn it off, it was a whole production, and I had to
Don't
sneak
worry.
around
I got an
behind the
idea.
camera. Okay.
I'm going to go from the left side here and see if I can hit that button without anybody
Smooth.
noticing. Keep
Smooth.
talking.
I'm
I'm going to move the trash can
I'll
first.
distract him and talk about my Dungeons and Dragon dice. Now, I've got my 20